The BET Awards red carpet had barely begun to heat up when Jim Jones, Harlem rap veteran and Dipset member, strolled up to do an interview with Bootleg Kev. There was already a buzz in the air about Clipse's recently released single Ace Trumpets, their first in years, arriving just as the legendary duo began to gear up for a full comeback. But Jones wasn't biting. If anything, he was outright dismissive. When Kev casually brought up the track, Jones didn't hesitate. "What's so great about it?" he asked bluntly. "It's good in what? The nostalgic value of it? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe them." Welcome to celebrity rap life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. It wasn't the most diplomatic answer, but Jim Jones has never been one to mince words, especially when it comes to fellow rappers he's had a long, complicated history with. He followed up his comments with a bit of a qualifier, perhaps realizing he was about to stir the pot. "But that's a whole other story, and I don't want to downplay nobody's craft," Jones said, before doubling back to underline his point. "But I don't listen to their music, and never have. I don't recall too many records that I can remember." It was clear that Jones had no intention of pretending to be a Clipse faint now, not ever. That moment, captured on video and quickly circulated across social media, reignited an old tension that had been simmering between Jim Jones and Clipse, particularly with Pusha T, one half of the Virginia-born duo. The two camps have never exactly seen eye to eye. But this latest critique from Jones comes at a time when Pusha and his brother No Malice are reasserting themselves in the rap game, after years away from the spotlight. As for Pusha T, so far, he's remained publicly silent regarding Jones' latest comments. But those who followed the story know this is hardly the first time Jim Jones has taken aim at him. Flashback to just over a year ago, when a debate over greatest rappers of all time lists was raging across hip-hop media. Pusha T's name appeared on one such list, much to the dismay of Jones. Never one to keep quiet, he voiced his disdain in an interview. What has he done that puts him in the greatest rappers of all time? Besides talk about cocaine that he probably didn't get himself, Jones said at the time. He could rap his ass off, but what has he done? Nobody has dressed like him. Nobody want to be like Pusha T. I don't remember nothing. The shade was undeniable. The shots were fired. And soon enough, the beef spilled into the music itself. At the Louis Vuitton men's fashion show in 2023, Pusha's late friend and fashion giant Virgil Abloh's old stomping ground, Pusha T premiered a new track laced with bars that appeared to be direct responses to Jim Jones' critiques. The song, a sharp and venomous verse heard by many in the fashion and hip-hop world alike, included lines such as, "Beware of my name, that there's delegate / you know I know where you're delicate / crush you to pieces. I'll hum a breath of it / I will close your heaven for the hell of it." It didn't stop there. With precision, Pusha continued. "You think it'd be valor amongst veterans / I'm watching your fame escape relevance / we all in a room, but here's the elephant / you chasing a feature out of your element." And still more. "And those lab diamonds under inspection, the question marks block your blessings. It's no tombstones in the desert. I know by now you get the message." For anyone paying attention, it was clear that this was a shot fired squarely at Jones. The Harlem rapper, after all, has cultivated an image built on street credibility, high-end fashion, and an undeniable hustle, all of which were seemingly under attack in Pusha's bars. The beef had now escalated from interviews into the music itself, taking on new life in public forums. Fast forward to today, and the dynamic between the two remains icy at best. With Clipse dropping Ace Trumpets, a new single that leans heavily on the kind of soulful, grimy production that made them cult legends, many wondered if Jim Jones might extend an olive branch or at least acknowledge the strength of the comeback. Instead, his dismissal was swift and unequivocal. But beneath the surface, there's more to this tension than just personal animosity. Jones' critiques tap into a deeper debate about authenticity, relevance, and the shifting landscape of rap. When he questions the nostalgic value of Clipse's new material, he's pointing to a larger generational divide. In his view, Clipse's comeback leans too heavily on past glories. In contrast, Jones sees himself and his camp as figures still active in today's culture, not merely living off old memories. There's also the matter of street credibility, a currency that's always held immense weight in hip-hop. Jones has long built his brand on being a street-certified hustler turned rapper. Pusha, on the other hand, has faced questions, fair or not, about the authenticity of some of his coke rap tales, a point Jones has repeatedly poked at in interviews. But it would be wrong to reduce this to a one-sided narrative. Pusha T, for his part, remains one of the most respected lyricists in the game. His precision, wordplay, and icy delivery continue to draw critical acclaim. And while Jim Jones argues that nobody dresses like Pusha or wants to emulate him, it's undeniable that Pusha's influence extends beyond music into fashion circles and street culture, particularly in collaborations with brands like Adidas and through his deep connections to the luxury fashion world. The stakes in this beef may be personal, but they're also reflective of larger questions about what it means to maintain relevance in hip-hop today. Can a group like Clipse, whose sound is so rooted in the early 2000s, find new footing with modern audiences? Does longevity in the game require constant reinvention, or can nostalgia alone sustain a career? For Jim Jones, the answer is clear: nostalgia alone isn't enough. Of course, Jones himself has undergone reinventions over the years. Once best known for anthems like We Fly High, Ballin', he's more recently found renewed critical acclaim with gritty, street-focused projects like El Capo and collaborations with younger New York talent. He's kept himself visible in the culture, whether through music, fashion ventures, or interviews where he's never afraid to speak his mind. Meanwhile, Pusha T has had his own reinventions. Though best known for his work in Clipse, his solo career has included some of the sharpest, most critically acclaimed albums of the last decade, particularly Daytona, which earned widespread praise for its no-fat approach and razor-sharp lyricism. His ability to remain culturally relevant, whether through beefs with Drake or his association with major fashion brands, has helped him retain a foothold in the game. Interestingly, as this feud simmers, Pusha has also opened another front, a brewing clash with Travis Scott. On the latest Clipse single, So Be It, and in several subsequent interviews, Pusha has aimed new shots at the Houston superstar. For rap fans, it's been fascinating to watch. Pusha once again stepping into the ring, unafraid to take on bigger names and to make bold statements. But what will come next in the ongoing saga between Jim Jones and Clipse? It's hard to say. So far, Jones has made his stance clear. He's not a fan, and he's not buying into the hype. Whether that prompts another round of responses from Pusha T remains to be seen. But given Pusha's track record, it wouldn't be surprising if another pointed verse eventually finds its way into the world. At the heart of it all is a story as old as hip-hop itself: competition, pride, and the battle for respect. Jones, a Harlem stalwart, sees himself as representing a particular slice of New York authenticity. Clipse, veterans of the Virginia rap scene, bring their own brand of luxury drug rap mythology to the table. Both have carved out lanes in the culture. Both have their supporters. But when egos collide, especially in public, the results are bound to create waves. For now, rap fans will continue to watch closely. Will Clipse's comeback pick up more steam? Will Pusha T address Jim Jones once again? And will Jones take his critiques to the booth for a full-fledged musical response? In hip-hop, history shows us one thing: these stories rarely end quietly. There's always another chapter waiting to be written. And as of now, this story between Jim Jones and Clipse is far from over. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.